Hello everybody, welcome back to another episode of Dr. Baldy Knows Best. If you were paying attention in the zucchini video, I used that green tie to tie a knot, but I had to hold the zucchini plant up, so I only had one hand free. So what I did was a one-handed surgeon's knot to tie that knot, and really easy and a super helpful thing to learn how to tie a knot with only one hand. And we're going to show you how to do that. I'm also going to show you a bonus knot. It's the butcher's knot, and it's actually a really simple knot, but you can use that a lot if you're trussing up some meat or anything that you need a slip knot. It's really kind of a fun little knot to learn how to tie. So we're going to dive in and show you both of those. So I have my little tying station up here right now. So in surgery, we do either a one-handed surgeon's knot or a two-handed surgeon's knot. So if you have free suture on each end, you could do a two-handed knot. The one-handed knot is much quicker and it looks really cool. So we tend to do that, and often there's a needle on one end or those kind of things. So a perfect surgeon's knot, we're going to get that knot to lay down in a square knot, and you'll be able to see that in here. Now, for what I was doing with that green tape, it doesn't really matter if I just have a series of like half hitches on top of each other. We don't really need a square knot, so we don't have to do both parts of it. So, okay, so the way we set it up is it goes over your index fingers, and you're going to pinch the string. So I take these fingers and I do the karate chop, and you go over, and you cross your hand to get it to lay out, and then you hook it with this finger, bring it around, and as you see, that's a beautiful square knot. And you have to cross your hands to do that. So the square knot is, really a solid knot. It's not going to slip. So that's what we want to do when we're in surgery. Now for what we're doing, we don't really need it to be a square knot. So we don't have to do our cross hands, and we don't have to do both parts of the one-handed surgeon's knot. So I'm going to show you both parts without crossing my hands. But once again, and it's kind of fun to do both parts, but you don't have to. Some people might find one part's easier than the other. So once again, I'm pinching these two fingers, karate chop, fold it over, and then this just goes here, and you pass it through. And then the second part is your finger goes underneath and over, and then hooks around and goes like that. Okay, so I think the easiest part is the karate chop. So what I did in that video is I just did that, and I did that again. And you can just keep doing that, not just a set of half hitches. So you just karate chop, pass it through, and tie it. And this hand can be holding on or doing whatever, holding your zucchini plant, and then there you go. Now, this is the other way. You go under and that way. Some people might like doing that. We'll do that real slow. Before I pinched it, went here. This way, I pinch it with these fingers, and then my index finger goes under, over, and then hooks it. So I think the easiest way to learn is the karate chop. Okay, now we're going to tie a butcher's knot. So you have like a roast or something that you need to do some trusses in. So you're going to cut yourself a piece of twine, butcher's twine, and we're just going to set it over. And so you have obviously the underside, and then the side that's coming over the top and under the bottom. So I'm just going to set that on my finger next to each other, and I'm just going to pinch them like that, okay? So now the string over the top, you're just going to go over your thumb, and then around, and then over this one more time. So in essence, we've wrapped around twice. And then I'm just going through that little hole that we made with my thumb. And then that's your slip knot. So you just tighten that down. And now this knot slips. And so you come in here and you can tighten that down really tight. Now, You can also, since it's a slip knot, you can loosen it back up. So you don't want it to come loose. So after you've tightened it down, we're going to use our cool trick. We're going to karate chop it. And then now we just threw a half hitch and that fixes it in place. Okay, we'll do another one. Okay, so once again, we go around our roast. And I made these a little kind of on the short side, which is fine. Top and bottom. Just going to lay them together next to each other. Just pinch them with your thumb. Super easy. Now the top is just going to go over my thumb and then around that thread and then around both of them one more time and then through the hole where my thumb is. And that is your slip knot. And you can see it slides right down. You can tighten that. And then we want to fix that knot, so we're just going to do our quick little karate chop. So remember, one hand, just go here, got these fingers here, and that way. Now, a lot of the butchers, the way they do it is they'll take this hand and they'll go under and around and grab it and come through like that. Show you that one more time. They'll take this long bottom knot and they'll put their hand under and wrap and then grab it that way. That also gives you a half hitch. I think the karate chop's way easier and faster. And that's how a surgeon would tie it. Anyway, use these knots in the garden, in your cooking, wherever. Now you can make really professional looking tied up roast, and you can keep the string going. You'll see that. A lot of times people just do them individually and then cut the knots, but that's how you tie that nice slip knot for anything you want to slip knot. And then the one hand. Just remember, karate chop and then throw.